And so you kind of mentioned before is about this education process, because again, part of your marketing is not just, hey, I'm over here, come and get some test prep tutoring. It's about educating your market so they even think that they will need this test prep tutoring, because they might, again, kind of the example you gave before, Mike, was exactly where a lot of people might be, just in totally not contemplating that they have a particular problem that they'd like to solve.
Right.
So starting with maybe the parent seminars, that seems like a really good example of an educational opportunity right at the start of the funnel when people are trying to figure out, hey, do I need to invest in this?
So, Alex Herbert, you speak so much about how to get students. You talk about marketing in the field of education. And you've observed that many tutors and teachers say that they're uncomfortable with marketing and sales. But we're all in this field very comfortable with education. We're educators by nature. People need information. We know how to provide it. We know what they need to know. We can explain it in a way that they understand, because that's our job, is to do that, right? So when you position this as education, everybody in the field is like, oh yeah, I can totally do that. You're saying that if I just help people understand what these exams are, what they test, and why they're important, then that could actually also maybe lead to more students. Sign me up. Where can I find these groups of parents wanting to this information? And that's the key, is that if you are in the business of test preparation, when I say parent seminars, I'm speaking obviously about any of the tests that are relevant to students pre-college, right? If you're talking about graduate school, then you're not doing parent seminars. You're doing other kinds of seminars, and you have to find those students on campus, or you find those students where they are. But for the most part, we're talking about selling in the K-12, which is what we call it in the United States, arena, right up to student turns 18 or so. And you can find those groups through schools. You can find those groups through libraries. I do a lot of work with libraries, and in my area, they aggregate students. I go in and I speak to them. With professional or social groups, you can even create them yourself, in that if you have a big enough enterprise and you have marketing reach, then you can say, on this Wednesday night, register for my free seminar on this topic. Education is natural. And also you can do videos. I mean, I didn't even talk about the fact that you can do this both synchronously and asynchronously online. And a lot of people do very well by just posting explanatory videos on YouTube. People find the videos and then they eventually find the speakers, because there is a great power in delivering a message that somebody needs to hear in a way that connects the dots.
It also strikes me as they're also really helpful from a lead magnet perspective. So if you wanted somebody to, be interested in, that they maybe come to your website, but they're not really sure about getting on a call or having a demo or having a chat, even maybe they're just not ready for that moment. You can still kind of suggest, like, hey, you can watch this little video, is going to answer all of those little questions that I know that you have. All you need to do is pop in your email, and then you have that permission, hopefully, to be able to continue to educate and ideally help that person. So out of all of the areas that we talk about, I almost think test prep is one of those ones where videos, that you kind of put behind the payment or the cost of entry is simply putting in your email. That just seems to me as such an obvious area for people to sign up that and show that they're really intrigued.
Well, content marketing is not just throwing a bunch of ideas out there and hoping some of them stick. You want a really tailored system of releasing information. What you're describing, Alex, where you might capture somebody's email, in which case you're also marketing through a newsletter, which is really like, if you want to maintain a strong stream of inquiries, then you should have a mailing list and you should be using that mailing list. But again, what should you be doing? You should be educating. You should be offering what you send out as just an extension of your support for families going through a process that you know well.
Mike, question. I assume that trust plays a huge part of this whole process. How difficult is it? How do you market trust in test prep?
So it's a great point. I mean, trust is connected not just with credibility and knowledge, meaning that your answers are actually accurate,
Mm,
but also integrity and making sure you operate in such a way that at each point you're offering what you say you're going to offer. If you offer somebody, you say, Alex, you presented the idea that, somebody can have access to this video if they enter their email, but they don't realize that signed them up for, a series of 10 really hard sell
Mm,
emails.
yeah.
You're going to lose trust. They're not going to trust you as a partner in this process.
Mm,
Instead, what I find is really valuable in establishing the trust is providing the information necessary to a broad group of people, low pressure presentations,
mhm.
and being there. And that builds trust over the long term, that they just know we've been great partners with schools, we've been great partners with libraries, we've supported countless students through this process. That's how you earn the trust, is by doing it and not making any piece of this educational relationship feel exploitative.
If you'd like to learn more about marketing techniques that can help you to get more students, then head over to getmorestudents.org, where you can sign up for free and access plenty of advice and resources, including the full discussion between Alex, Herbert, and Mike.